Welcome back, church. I'm Ricky Farley with 70 times 7 Ministry, and today is May 21st, 2021. We're traveling through the book of Jonah, and last week we listened to Jonah's prayer that he had, and Jonah had relented to God's request, and he was vomited up onto dry land by the big fish, and now he was traveling across the land of Nineveh to deliver God's message and warn the Ninevites of their impending doom. And his message that he traveled with in the 3-day journey across Nineveh was a pretty simple message. Yet 40 days and Nineveh shall be overthrown. And pretty much that's what we have. So he didn't go from area to area and preach these long sermons. And I think that says to something to where Jonah's heart was. But that doesn't mean God cannot use that, and we see that here. And we're going to pick up in verse 5 and read it to the end of chapter 3. So the people of Nineveh believed God, proclaiming a fast, and put sackcloth on from the greatest to the least of them. Then word came to the king of Nineveh, and he arose from his throne and laid aside his robe, covered himself with sackcloth and sat in ashes, and caused it to be proclaimed and published throughout Nineveh by the decree of the king and his nobles, saying, "Let neither man nor beast nor flock taste anything. Do not let them eat nor drink water. But let man and beast be covered with sackcloth and cry mighty to God. Yes, let one turn from his evil ways and from the violence that is in his hand." Now, this is kind of interesting because even the animals, the cows, were told to fast and put on sackcloth. Now, I think this might have been that, and I'm only speculating here, that the Ninevites and the king were so far away from God that they weren't sure what to do. So they didn't want to mess it up. So they were going to have everybody do it, and including the animals, because they knew this to be true, that they would perish if they didn't listen to Jonah's message. We can tell if God will turn and relent and turn away from his fierce anger, so we may not perish. Then God saw the works of them and turned from their evil ways, and God relented from the disasters that he had said he would bring upon them, and he did not do it. Okay, now this doesn't mean that God is a changing God. It's up to us to change, and how we react to God is how he will react to us. But that doesn't mean that he changes. It's us that need to change. For our memory verse today, we're going to go back to Genesis 1:1. We're going back to the basics. And I think that's a good thing. Especially sometimes when we get lost or get traveling down a path that is heavily paved with our own way, and we're not sure how we got there. A lot of times it's just good to go back and reset and I think a good place to do this is right in Genesis. And the memory verse today is Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now, God is an eternal being. He always was. But He is our creator. He spoke the heavens and the earth into existence. He didn't have something that He started with and molded into something. He spoke it into existence. And without God, there is no us. There is no heavens. There is no earth. There is no anything except God. And when we lose sight of that, we can get lost. And I think it's always good to go back to that. If you like what you heard here today, please share it with a friend.